Today is National Lima Bean Respect Day. It's a day to give lima beans the respect they deserve. Has anyone ever had lima beans? Have you had lima beans before? Yes, no? Yeah, Moses has. Nice. Melanie and Sebastian have. Nice. I feel like I had lima beans like once in my life. Do y'all know any good lima bean recipes? Or did we just eat them like kind of like edamame? Your mom used to get them ready for your nice, for sure. Nice, nice. Well, it's Lima Bean Respect Day. Lima beans, I feel like, have a bad reputation, but I think they're actually pretty decent. But my thought was this: what is one food you used to hate, but you actually like now? So I can go first. Mine was ketchup. I hated ketchup growing up. Um, I don't know if you ever been to McDonald's where they have those like the playpen sections. Have y'all noticed? You're gonna hate me. I might be ruining McDonald's for some of you. When you walk into McDonald's, it smells like ketchup and sweat. Have you ever noticed that? It's like bleh, kind of nasty. I spent way too much time in McDonald's growing up, and so yeah, ketchup was a no go for me. I can eat ketchup now, but in high school, I did not eat ketchup. Like zero amounts of ketchup. I was not about to eat ketchup. Love mustard, no ketchup. Moses used to hate pickles, but now he likes them. Fernando used to hate hot dogs, but now he likes them. Is that the shrimp cake scary? Shrimp cakes at your
Yeah,
grandma? Nice. What are they, like cupcake size or what?
they're like little circular things. You grab like dried shrimp. I don't really know how they would make them, but like they my grandma would grind them up, put it into this little like circular bread shape. I didn't like it because it was really dry. Uh,
Mm,
but but now I've started to like it a little bit more, and I've actually been
nice,
eating them.
nice. Interesting. I like that idea for sure. Jessica mentioned broccoli. Oh yeah, broccoli. Yeah. Nephew, yeah, I would just eat fries by themselves. Or like that's when I started liking mustard. I like mustard on my fries, but now I don't know if I like mustard on my fries or not. Peanut butter, Brandon used to hate it, but now he likes it. Nice, nice. Keep thinking of those things that you used to hate, but now you like. So just like the lima beans, give them the respect that they deserve. All right, team. Thanks for jumping in this morning. If you haven't taken attendance yet, please do so. Um, for today, we've got our announcements. We'll do notes and an assignment today. Here is our announcement. We are done with week one. Yeah. We had excellent submission rate in week one. Very proud of you guys. Great work. I think we had 45 submissions out of like 50 of us. So I was pretty proud of that. Um, and then this is today, our yellow box. We're learning about polynomials. I just wanted to highlight that on Thursday, I won't be here, but Ms. Yama will be here, and she'll be teaching you the last section of our polynomials unit. So I'm super pumped about that. I did want to apologize. I can't be here. I will be at a funeral, so no bueno, but uh, you'll be in good hands with Miss Yama, right? You'd be with, blah, you'll be in good hands. So that will wrap up these 2 weeks. Next week, we'll do CASP prep with week 4 as well. We'll talk about what CASP is, why it matters, all the things. We'll talk about how to do it. And then in week 5, we're going to take that test. Then in weeks 6, 7, and 8, those are the last weeks of the quarter. We're going to do PT and ACT. We're going to do a joint PT with Miss Pole's class. So it'll be like a STEM day PT. So you don't need to worry too much about that for now. And then we're going to go on our summer. Does anybody have any questions about the schedule? And I just want to highlight on Thursday, you are required to be here. You must be here, right? Just as a reminder, in case you were thinking like, ooh, no math on Thursday. No, there's math on Thursday. Just make sure that you are here, please. It is going to go by so fast like this. I agree. All right, let's jump in to office hours. We are going to have our normal office hours today and Thursday. It's open from 10:30 to noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I did want to highlight that next week on Monday, Miss Yama may call you for an appointment on Monday. She'll do that if you are missing any of your assignments from this past week. This will help us to make sure that everybody is like on board and like caught up. I don't want anybody to fall behind this quarter because, as Amira mentioned in the chat, there are a lot of tests this quarter, and I don't want us to get like behind and then have to like scramble on a lot of different fronts. So definitely want to pump that up. Okay. Cool. Any questions for me? All right. Ms. Yama, did you have anything else to share about office hours?
I'll be calling people in from 10:30 to 12, the normal office hours time. So try to get your assignments in or else you'll be called in.
And we know you have VAPA on those days, so it will be the opposite times from your VAPA class. Cool. All right, let's jump into my favorite no. Okay, I wanted to highlight this question from last week. So I had some amazing answers and some amazing explanations. It says the blue dot is on A, this dot right here. Put in the chat, do you think this is a single root, a double root, or a triple root? Blow it up. If you agree with, tell me, is it a single, a double, or a triple from what you remember from last week? Is this blue dot, just the blue dot right here, is this a single, a double? I've got some doubles in the chat. Can someone tell me, why do you think that it is a double? What tells you that it's a double? Feel free to come off mute if you'd like. I'll type it in the chat.
It's a double because since the line doesn't go through, or it doesn't have like that flat straight line in the center, instead of going through, it bounces back down, and then afterwards it goes up.
Yes, Emiliano, thank you. Massive snaps for Emiliano. Emiliano, sending merits your way. Watch me write them down right now. Emiliano, thank you for coming off mute. It is absolutely a double. It is a double because it does do that bouncing, as Emiliano says. And then this one over here is a single root. This right here, where it just goes straight through, that's a single root. But if we're just talking about the blue dot, that one right there is a double, right? So I wanted to mention, like, yes, we talked about the fact that this would be x to the third because there are two here and one here. But this dot right there is just a double root, right? So this is double, that one's single. That's how I know that it is x to the third. Awesome. All right. The other one that I wanted to pull out here, I really love this person's answer because they marked the correct roots in their solution. So they have -1 here and +3 here. What is not correct about this? What is not correct? What numbers here are not correct? -3, yeah, this -3, that one, not quite. I don't know what a -3 multiplicity would be. There's one other number that is not correct here. Yeah, this one right here, right? What kind of root is this? We just talked about this on the last one. What kind of root is this right here? It's a double, yeah, Emiliano, captain of the double roots. It's a double root here. So what should we put as our multiplicity? When we have -1 multiplicity of, what's the number for multiplicity that represents double? What's the number? So at -1, we have a root at -1. We have a multiplicity of double. What number represents double? It's not 1. When you hear the word double, what number do you think? Two, yes, absolutely. Good job. Thanks, Roxana. Thanks, Amira. Thanks, Wendy. Right, we would have -1 multiplicity 2. So when I write this number here, I should have a 2 right here, 2. What multiplicity, right? What multiplicity is 3? So at 3, is this a single root, a double root, or a triple root? Go straight through. I have 1% answer in the chat. Is this a single, a double, or a triple root right here? It goes straight through this point right here. It's got 3 answers. Looking for 5. What is this point right here? Is this a single, a double, or a triple? All right, thank you. There were 3 votes for single, and that's the correct answer. This point right here is a single root, right? This point right here is a single root. So you could put multiplicity 1 here, or you don't have to write multiplicity at all. There's no multiplicity, right? It's just the root at 3. So this number 3 has a multiplicity of 1, right? It's just a single root going through here. So when I go to write my equation, right? When I go to write my equation, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat here. X plus 1, this x plus 1 is perfect. I switched the sign, x plus 1, but it is a double root. I represent the double root by putting the power of 2, by putting the power of 2 there, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and write my x minus 3 as well. Right, so when you are writing your equation for this one here, to represent the square, we're going to put the exponent of 2. We're going to talk a little bit about this, more about this today. So I am excited to jump in with you all today. If you're still like, Miss, what is happening? We're going to do it again. We're having another day to practice. So I'm very excited. I did want to shout out some amazing notes from last week. Like, wow, y'all, look at these notes. Like, can you believe how beautiful they are? I love them. So massive shout out from Melanie, Zephyr, and Jessica. There were great notes across the board, but wanted to shout out these ones in particular. Shout out to you all. Thank you for your hard work and beautiful notes. And speaking of notes, we're going to jump on into them. Go ahead and grab a piece of paper, a pencil. If you printed out the notes, grab those notes. If you are just writing on paper, awesome. If you need to write on like the back of a receipt, that's okay. Do it up, whatever you got. If you got construction paper because your baby sister's playing with something, awesome. I'm here for it. Whatever you got is great. Tell me, are you ready to go with that? Do you need a minute to be ready? Or do you need 2 minutes? I'm going to go ahead and use 9 minutes to switch over our screens here. Awesome. If you need that minute, do take it right now while I switch over. If you need that 2 to 3 minutes, do it now. All right. Well, let's see if this connects. There we go. Can y'all give me a yeah on the chat or something in the chat if you can see notes 36 here? Great. Okay. My computer was really not loving that moment. So we're back. No big deal. Anybody have a color that I should use for my notes today? At least for the beginning? Color. I'm gonna cross out this section here. I don't like these things. These arrows in the way. I had a vote for blue, a vote for pink, and a vote for orange. Blue came in first, fastest typer, so I'll start there. But I'll move into pink and orange. I'm here for that. All right, friends. Okay, I want to highlight again, lots of words on the screen, right? What I'm going to need you to make sure that you have on your page, what I need you to make sure you have on your page is things that are in this box, particularly the equation. So do go ahead and write down that equation if you haven't already. And then the equation, and then this graph. Right? This graph's going to need to be on your page because that is what we are doing today. Today we are sketching polynomials, right? We're sketching polynomials. That means we're drawing a picture of the polynomial. That being said, we're not drawing like a perfect, beautiful, gorgeous, artistic drawing. We're just drawing a sketch, a quick drawing of the polynomial, okay? So I have the steps written on the side here. We're gonna follow these steps. However, you don't need to write them down unless they are helpful to you. If you wanna think of your own steps, you are welcome to. So we've got y equals x plus 3, x plus 4, and x minus 2. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the solutions and their multiplicity. So looking at this guy here, my first solution is x equals -3. How did I get -3? It says x plus 3. What did we do last week that I remember? How do I get -3? What do I do? Do the opposite. Yes, absolutely. We do the opposite. Awesome. Love it. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, Roxana. All right. So then what is the other? What's the next solution? I have -3. What's my next solution? -4. Yes, absolutely. And what is my final solution here? Yes, +2. +2. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks, Roxana. Thanks, Brandon, for your support in the chat. All right, so we have our 3 solutions. Do any of them have a double root here, like a 2 for the exponent? Do any of them have an exponent? None of them have an exponent. So I know that these are all single roots. All single roots. All right, my next step, determine the degree of the function. So that's this part here. Because there are blank solutions, this is x to the power of blank. How many solutions do I have? 3. Yes, there are 3. 1, 2, 3. Because there are 3 solutions, this is x to the what power? X to the, there are 3 solutions. This is x to the 3rd power. Absolutely. X to the 3rd power. All right, so this is x to the 3rd. So we know it looks like a cubic. I know it's going to look something like this from last week's lesson, something like that. It might be going down, something like this. But I know it's going to look generally like this. All right, step 3, plot the solutions on the x-axis. We're going to take these numbers right here and we're going to plot them on the x-axis. I'm going to go ahead and erase my green, but I'm going to plot -3 first. So -1, -2, -3. Next is -4. So -1, -2, -3, -4. And then +2, 1, 2. So I've plotted my solutions. So we found the solutions. That was step 1 here. We determined the degree of the function. That was step 2 here. We plotted the solutions on the x-axis. That was step 3 here. All right. Step 4 says draw the ending arrows based on the leading side, i.e., so that means, is it positive or negative? So here at the beginning of the equation, right? Here at the beginning, let me draw out with a different color. Is this equation overall positive or overall negative? Basically, I'm saying, is there a negative at the beginning, like this problem over here? Is there a negative here or is it positive? Yeah, it's positive. Thanks, Zephyr. Thanks, Roxana. It's positive. So because this is positive, it ends going up. So because it is positive, it ends going up. So this is our 4th step here. So I'm going to go to my rightmost point, this point right here. And because it is positive, it ends going up. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line going up like this. Draw my line going straight up. That is step 4. Step 4 is determining if it goes up or down at the end. All right, my last step, create the line based on single or double roots. We said these were all single roots. For single roots, tell me, do single roots go through or do single roots bounce? Do single roots go through or do single roots bounce? Yes, Sebastian, they go through, right? Single roots go through. Yes, Roxana. So for each of these roots, I'm going to go through this one. Then I'm going to go through this one. Then I have to turn around right away and go back through this one here. Go through, and go through. So I can see that cubic shape coming through, right? I have 1, 2, 3. And remember, this is a sketch. It's not like a beautiful drawing. It's just a quick sketch of what it sort of looks like. This type of drawing is what our goal is for today. So we found the solutions. We plotted them on the graph. We realized that it was positive, so it goes up. And then we draw the line straight through. So this is our 5th step. Drawing. All right, I would love to know if you got confused. Let me do this. If you got confused, I would love to know what step you feel like is the most confusing. What step is the most confusing? What is that 5 for again? Oh, I was just showing that this is the 5th step. The 5th step is to draw the line through. Thank you for that question, Moses. Moses had an excellent question. I'm going to launch this poll. A would be number 1 is confusing. B is number 2 is confusing. C is number 3 is confusing with the plotting of the points. D is number 4 is confusing. And E is number 5 is confusing. If you are operating off of the notes page right now, you might not see number 2. I took out number 2 after I did the notes. So it's okay if number 2 doesn't exist. If you choose F, that means you got all the way to the problem, no confusion. All right. Okay, I want you to think about where you are feeling confused. And we're going to try another example here. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat. I have one here. Just one question about step 2. How do you know if it's positive or negative? You know that it's positive or negative based on whether there's a like whether there's nothing here, that would be positive. It would be negative if there's a negative in the very front of the equation. So we're going to see a negative one right now, where there's a negative in the front of the equation. So let's go ahead and write down this equation here. Great question. Let's go ahead and write down this equation right here. Jot that down in your notes. All right. So for this one, we see right here that it is negative. It's negative, so the end goes down. Right? Particularly when I'm talking about the end, I mean the right side. Right? So the right end is going to go down because this equation is overall negative. Now I'm going to go ahead and find my solutions. 1, 2, and 3. There's a solution every time that I see an x. So if I see an x, I'm going to have that solution. Let's start with this one since we've done these before. If it says x plus 3, what would make this 0? What is my solution coming out of this factor? X plus 3. For sure, is that fair? Negative 3. What solution is coming out of here? X minus 1. Yes, positive 1. What does it mean that there is a square right here? What does it mean that there's a square here? What kind of root is that? Yes, a double root. So I can write m dot 2, and that's representing a double root. So this, when I write m dot 2, it means double. What kind of root is negative 3? Is it a double or a single? There's no exponent here. What kind of root is this? Yeah, it's a single root. A single root here. Nice, good job. All right, and then there's one more right here. It says 2x. It says negative 2x, right? It says 2x right here. What number would make this 0? 2 times what gives me 0? 2 times what number gives me 0? Because remember, negative 3 plus 3, that equals 0. 1 minus 1, that equals 0. So we need to make this equal to 0. What number could I plug in here for x? I put a 1 in there. 2 times 1, that's 2. That's not going to work. 2 times 2, that's 4. That's not going to work. Ah, unique. Yes, a 0. The solution that is here when we have x just by itself would be 0 because 2 times 0 would be 0. So anytime that we have x just chilling out in front, that would be a solution at 0. I saw in some of your homeworks or like on your Desmos, some people wrote x plus 0. You can write x plus 0 just like these ones, but x plus 0, that's not changing anything. So we don't need to write the 0 there. And so that is just an x by itself. So when we have x by itself, we are going to have a root at 0. Is this a single root or a double root? Single root or a double root? We have one person says single. Is this a single root? Is there any exponent here? There's no exponent like this one. right? No exponent. So that means that this must be a single root. All right, so we have our roots. We know that there's a single root at 0, a single root at -3, and a double root at 1. We know it's negative, so it's going to go down at the end. Our next step is to put them on the graph here. So at 0, I'm going to put my single root. At -3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to put my single root. And at 1, I have a double root. So I'm going to mark double roots just a little bit different so I can help remind myself that I have a double root here. Right, so 1 is a double root. I'm going to go ahead and put an X on that spot. An X on that spot like that. It's still a root. The X is going to remind me not to go through the graph, because as Emiliano was telling us earlier, when we have a double root, it's going to bounce off. So this is the part that most of us said was the hardest part for us, was choosing how to draw the line. So it says at the end, it's going to go down. So at our rightmost point, it's going to go down like this. Go ahead and draw your down like that. Since this is a double root, it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce. So it has to go back. It has to go like this. Go ahead and draw a little baby parabola on the bottom here, a baby quadratic here. All right. And then it has to go through this point, has to go through it. It's already down here on the bottom, so it has to go to the top. So it has to go from the bottom to the top through this single point here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a single root here. Notice my double root, it bounces. My single root goes through. And then this over here is a single root as well. So it's going to have to come back down so that it can go to the bottom. And go like this. So it had to start at the bottom, or we had to quote end the right side at the bottom. It bounced here, it goes through, and it goes here. If you think about single roots, they're like tunnels. You can go through the tunnel, right? You can go through the tunnel. If it's a double root, it has to bounce. Double root's like a wall. Double root bounce. So we get our graph of -2x times x plus 3 times x minus 1 squared. All right, I want you to tell me, is it confusing when A, figuring out what direction it goes, B, figuring out the roots, C, is the graph part is confusing, or D is not confusing? Not confused. Let me rearrange this. So if you choose A, you're saying the part with the negative is confusing. If you choose B, the part with the roots is confusing. If you choose C, the part with the graph is confusing. If you choose D, you're not confused. If you choose F, I don't know what that means. All right. Let's do one more. Keep telling me where your confusion is, or if you have any questions, go ahead and write down this equation here. It looks like most of us are confused on the graphing part. I agree. Let's do another one together. All right. I would love to have some people come off mute to help me out here. help me out. What are our solutions? What are our solutions? Jasmine, go for it.
For the first set, it would be -5, since we already have a +5 in the parentheses. And for the second set, it would be a -2, but you would put an m.2 since it is a double root.
Yes, amazing job, Jasmine P. Awesome. Amazing. Zephyr, I'm going to put your hand down, but raise it again if you have the next question. All right, so my next question is it positive? Is it positive or negative? Can someone come off mute and tell me, is it positive or negative? Roxana, go ahead.
It's gonna be negative.
How do you know?
Because of -5 and -2, it's gonna go down.
Up here, was the negative related to our root?
No.
No, it was just a negative hanging out in front, right?
Yes.
And when we did positive and negative over here, was it related to our roots?
No.
No, right? It's just whatever's in front here. So Roxana, what is in front right here?
Sorry, I didn't see that. It's gonna be positive.
It's going to be positive. Why?
Because there's nothing, like you said, in the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Good correction. All right, so it's going to be positive, right? Thank you, Roxana. Go ahead and raise your hand if you can tell me what happens. Since it's positive, what's going to happen at the end? Since it's positive, what's going to happen at the end? Yeah, Emiliano, go ahead.
It's gonna rise up in the end.
It's going to rise up at the end. So up at the end. Ooh, I'm seeing this question from the chat. How do you know it's a double root? Jasmine P, can you come back off mute and remind us, how do we know that it is a double root here?
Of course, yes. So it's a double root because it has a 2 as an exponent outside of the parentheses, and that's how you identify it.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. So we have the 2 becomes a double root. And then Roxana, can you come off mute? There's another question here. It says, what makes the graph positive or negative?
So in the front of the problem, it's either gonna have a negative or nothing. So if it doesn't have nothing, it's gonna be positive. But if it has negative, it's gonna be negative.
Awesome. Thank you, Roxana. So if there's a negative here, like in the last one, there was a negative at the beginning, right? That would make it negative. But on this one, there's nothing. So it's going to be positive. Cool. Amazing questions and amazing answers. Thank you, Jasmine and Roxana. And I'm sure I missed someone else, so remind me who you are. Okay, so I have my solutions at -5 and -2. I know that I have a double here. That makes this one's a single. And I know it's positive going up at the end. So what's my next step? What's my next step? Let me come off mute. Graphing, yes. Emiliano, thank you for helping me. Miss Yama remembered you. Graphing, yes, Jocelyn, yes, Amira, we're gonna graph it. So I'm gonna go to -5. I'm gonna put a tunnel there. And then I'm gonna go to -2, -1, -2. I'm gonna put a wall there. All right, from -2, should I go up or should I go down? Based on our information here. Should I go up or should I go down? I should go up. Yes, yes, Jocelyn. I'm gonna go up from here. Go up. All right, this is a double root. Should I bounce or should I go through? At a double root, do I bounce or go through? Yes, I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce off here. Make a little parabola. Good. Zephyr, I'm gonna bounce on this one because it's a double. So I'm bouncing since it's a double. All right, and then I have to go back. I have to like basically go up and come back down here. It doesn't matter how high you go. If you go up there, if you go like this, that's fine. As long as you stay above, just don't come down here because we can't go through. So I'm gonna come through here. And then since this is a single root, should I bounce or should I bounce or should I go through? Should I bounce? Or should I go through at a single root? Yes, go through. Oops. Sorry, team. This is like this. I'm gonna go through like that. I'm gonna go through like this. Amazing. Awesome. We have this one here. Tell me, now that we've done this last example, sort of seen one all the way through, how are you feeling? Feeling like a 0? This still makes no sense, miss. What the heck? Are you feeling like 5? This makes total sense. Somewhere in the middle. Let me know how you're feeling. Awesome. Some 3s, some 4s, some 5s. Feels like the right place to do some practice. So my friends, for your assignment today, you're gonna do some practice. You have, you're gonna put your notes here. The only thing, check it out, there's lots of graphs, right? There's lots of graphs, but this is the only part, right? And you're not doing all of them. You're choosing which ones, right? You're choosing which ones. So on track, you're choosing 8, honors, you're choosing 10, star, you have your own document, so check that out. You have an example of one right here, right? And then you have your other ones to do here, right? I have a video available for number 4 and a video available for number 9. So if you want to see some additional examples, you can check out the video there, right? If you'd rather not do this on paper, if you're like, miss, my hand hurts, I don't want to write anymore, you can do this on the computer. There is a Death Notes version of this exact same assignment. Your same thing, you're going to do 8 slides or 10 slides, depending, right? I am super excited to see your work. I'm going to go ahead and open some breakout rooms here. If you would like to work with some people in our class, you're welcome to jump into the breakout room. If you'd like to work with Miss Flores, you're welcome to jump into the breakout room. If you are feeling good for today, you are welcome to head out. Thank you for such an amazing class. Feel free to jump into those breakout rooms when you're ready, or head out when you're ready. Thanks, friends. It was great working with you today. Adios, amigos. Bye, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks, friends.